Wage War, Manic. I like it better than last. Here's the thing. This is their fourth studio album. They decided to do some interesting shit on this record here. And, here's the thing. They did kind of, let's just say Bullet's gonna have a hard time topping what this did. Even though there are other metalcore of other forms that might be better than this record, but it's still up for debate here. Still up for debate. I understand. That being said, Wage War, I didn't get a chance to talk about Pressure because I wasn't too impressed with how Pressure came across, and it didn't. And at the time that it had come out, and in 2019, and now I'm just kind of. But what I've heard of this record, I was like, okay, they're getting it back, you know. I didn't expect them to kind of, though it turns out after going through their discography, kind of exploring into hip-hop territory, yet alone more nu metal-ish, was not surprising, apparently, since they did a track where they had a disc jockey moment on it, or at least in a Linkin Park-ish kind of way, on like one of the tracks off of Blueprints. Luckily, that was only in the intro, but I digress. This one is, apparently this album, they kind of go a little trap. I mean, in places. It's not old pop like the last record, I'll tell you that, and not to the point that happened like on that third track of the last album, but the title track is where they do that, go a little trappy. But the thing is, the other singles that they had released, High Horse, Circle the Drain, and Teeth, were pretty good. Were really good, great little things to kind of go through. Godspeed was not too bad either, but the other tracks are not bad either. And I like the other tracks too, but let me tell you, and they're pretty good as well, and they do explore into some things. Never Said Goodbye was, I think, another great track that does kind of deal in with the whole topic of suicide. I don't know if it handles it nearly as well as the song they did off of their first record that name escapes me at the moment, but it's still pretty good. Slow Burn's not bad either. I do like some of what Teeth dealing with the toxic relationships. Circle the Drain is in terms of how we are as in humanity and trying to learn our lessons. Horse was a great heavy rager in of itself. But dude, these track here, that even the diehards that love Blueprints are gonna love this track and talk most about this song. Positively, without question. And it's fucking death roll. I mean, fucking pinch harmonics for days. For days. Just, we're doing it. I mean, that fucking riff, just surprised that wasn't called High Horse, actually, giving away that fucking nays with those pinch. This is not the first time they go really into the pinch harmonic stuff, though. They did something like that in Blueprints as well, but they also have a fucking gnarly solo in this song too. It's everything you want in general in a metalcore song, in a good way that you want. By this point in the album, you definitely want it, I'm telling you. And it shows they still got it in them, by the way. So they do go that sort of almost Blueprints-y, more Blueprints-esque route, but still kind of moving forward from where they sort of left off with Pressure, but not as old pop cringe, just, if anything, maybe the trap metal. But yeah, for some reason that song actually weirdly grows on me and actually works, as opposed to some of that. Like, the third track is probably the worst thing, but the other songs are fine that do flirt with it at least. So it's not as bad as I remember, but I think it's more that they just had a couple tracks that unfortunately do that kind of keeps it not as great. And maybe, but I think this, despite even what some people may think of Manic, is going to do great. But yeah, they're good metalcore, and apparently they're trying their best to try to do something different, but at least they're not going too far out of their way about it, I guess. They're at least willing to do it at least for a song and not a full album or too many songs on an album at the wrong points in time, maybe, because that's what I had to deal with pressure. Because overall, at least upon listening to this album before going and deciding to do another deep dive into the discography before going back to the record a second time, yeah, I'd say, which I get some people are going to call me hypocrites because of, again, the trash boat thing. Because I knew I was going to get some heat for it. I am not, again, I'm going to keep referencing it because I can tell there are moments about this that are going to pop up that people who've heard this and know about my trash boat thing are going to just like, listen, dudes. This time it just works. I'm always leery that if they kept doing what they did on Manic throughout, it would have, it might have been worse than Pressure, but they didn't. At least not in the way they did do it on Manic, and they just left it with Manic. And not that's why tracks like Death Roll are fucking glorious, to show that, hey, we're willing to do what we need to do for you guys, but still do what we need to do to progress in where we want to go musically. Or at least that we're willing to do. Even the band members had said during our Nick Nocturnal stream, we weren't really entirely sure, but it started to learn to grow with the idea of what they were wanting to do. And one of the other singer that usually is more for growling, he did start to do some singing, but now he's trying to do more stuff a little bit here and there, but I think he's sticking to his growls more. I wound up looking back, and I don't hate his clean singing, what he tries to do for clean singing. Not the guy that normally does it, that does the more blackened screams, screechy stuff, but that has better cleans. But he does fine with what he did with those cleans, and I wouldn't mind those coming back. I didn't get those a lot here, but I wasn't expecting a heavier record, so it just made sense for them to do that, and then while still kind of pressing forward at times. And for some reason, the trap thing worked, at least with Manic. They didn't stick with it too far. They just did some hip-hop flourishes, which they did flirt with a bit in Blueprints, so it's okay. So it just feels more like Blueprints in that regard, and then they just kind of explored, and then they just did a trap metal-ish thing, I guess. That kind of weirdly works, or trapcore-ish thing, I guess you could say. I just hope it doesn't, I wouldn't be surprised, but not to Bring Me Horizons type of thing, I guess. I just hope it doesn't become that more so often, but I don't know what more they can do, though. I'd be curious to see, and if it does stick the landing or not, but for the most part, I'd say at the very least, I can think and say that as an overall experience with this album, I feel like wanting to go to this way more than I would say as an album as a whole, even though tracks like Low that were on last record were worth remembering, personally. But yes, I do like this and this album overall, and you know what? Thumbs up, potentially this, but I'm just gonna do thumbs up for now. More a high thumbs up to a very light, a strong thumbs up to a light one of these, horns up. We'll put it that way. I did enjoy this album definitely a lot more. I don't know if I can say it's better than Blueprints or Dead Weight, but quite necessarily. But I like it for the most part. I think that in terms of bringing it going back to being a heavier band and bringing it, I think Wage War set the bar higher in comparison, at least in that regard, to more metalcore blah blah than what Bullet's going to be doing, especially given the recent single that just popped out today. I have this, yeah. So overall, like I said, thumbs up to like this. I liked this album very, very much. It breezes by pretty well. I think that you'll like this at least more. I don't expect the certain ones that are more diehard to, unless you have a thing for it. Like, I appreciate what they're doing while still kind of maintaining themselves a little bit. And the production's pretty good here too. I don't know who they got for producer. Let me see. I'm curious. I'm curious here. What did they get for producer? Hold on. Good. It's good to see receiving positive stuff. Yeah, Jeremy McKinnon still is involved in production, though it seems we got a couple other, like, apparently there's multiple producers here. Drew Folk, Andrew Wade, and Cody Quistad. Okay. Not sure which ones McKinnon is involved in, but this time around, but not sure on which tracks exactly. Let's see. I think it's more he's just credited as production. So it's basically the members. Yeah, Quistad is one of the members of the band that got involved in the production, which is probably a good thing. The one that does the rhythm and clean vocals. Well, that makes sense. Pretty cool. Bond is the name of the other vocalist that I was thinking of. I'm sorry. That he's learning to do some other stuff. It's quite honestly awesome. And overall, I enjoyed this album. Yeah. I'm actually kind of happy for that the band's getting some good reception, actually. They deserve it, at least. So, okay, sorry for the brief little thing, but yeah, that's awesome. So yeah. Overall, I am very, very happy. I'm very happy for this band, actually. And I mean, there were some moments that were T's and teeth. I didn't think they would go full out in Manic, but I've grown with it. So, at least they're... overall, yeah. What did you guys think of the album? Leave a comment below. Let me know. As always, guys, this is Rocket Music Tyler. I've been Tyler. Also, link in the description if you do like this video. Not only to rock the like button with Thrust You Must Hear, also like and follow me on my Facebook page, link in the description there. Also hit that subscribe button if you like this video. And as always, guys, keep it random, keep it real, keep it rocking. And I'll see you hopefully in the next video. Take care, y'all. Just seriously, Death Row, please. If for some reason this stuff didn't get to you for some reason, at least check out Death Row. Trust me, fucking Death Row. Take care, y'all.